Alright, good morning, dudes. Cut test time with the Lightning OTF. This is a very budget, out the front automatic knife. The brand is called Lightning. I don't even know if it has a specific model number or name, but it's very cheap. It's like $30. The blade steel, I'm not even sure of. It might be like 440C or something even worse, possibly. Which 440C isn't even that horrible, but I just don't know what it is. It's a mystery. The handle material is actually aluminum. It actually feels pretty solid overall. It fires hard. Pretty significant wiggle on the blade, but that's par for the course with OTFs. This one just is a little bit more pronounced than, say, a Microtech. So we're going to abuse this thing. I'm going to put it through its paces with the normal cutting tests that we do, and then we're going to take it and do some batoning. Forgot a piece of paper, I think, is what I'm going to get right now. So I bought this a while back just because I wanted to have an OTF in the collection. I had sold my Microtechs. I want to get another OTF in the collection. I'm kind of waiting for the axial shift OTFs to come back in stock. They've been out of stock for a while. They have a Warncliffe I really want. So slicing through single thickness cardboard with ease. Really, really, really well, actually. I gotta say, actually, you know what? This is the double thickness cardboard. Yeah, this is the double thickness. I gotta say, man, this thing cut surprisingly well, man. Yeah, it really, really did. It's got a pretty wide edge bevel on it, so it's pretty low angle on it. So I think that has something to do with it. You can see utility cuts, not the best, but you can still get to the tip by lifting up your wrist a little bit. It fires hard, like I was saying. The main annoying thing is when you fire it, it makes like a springy spring sound. You can hear and feel the spring in there kind of like vibrating when you fire it, which is a little annoying. Just makes it feel cheap, which it is. But for $30, I gotta say I was pretty impressed overall. Never has failed on me, the action. Never, not once. See where our edge is at after the cardboard. Still doing pretty well. Still cutting. Not super well, but Now, I've seen videos of Microtech torture tests, and it blew me away when I saw how tough these Microtechs were. And I knew this one would not be as tough, obviously, but I kind of just wanted to see. I've seen a video of a guy hammering a Microtech Ultratech like a nail through a 2x4. He hammered it like a nail all the way through and then got it back out, and it was still firing fine. The lockup didn't fail. That's crazy, man. That's absolutely nuts. I don't think you could do that with a liner lock or frame lock. In fact, I'm pretty positive. I'd love to get an OTF that was good for EDC. The Ultratech was just not a very good slicer. I liked the size of the UTX 85 quite a bit, but still not very slicey. The Benchmade Shootout was actually pretty slicey, but just didn't like it overall. Too plasticky, felt like a toy. I would love to EDC an OTF. I just haven't really found one that is really suited for my cutting tasks. I do a lot of slicing and a lot of utility cuts. Alright, the wide ass strap. Let's see how we do. On average, knives get maybe like halfway through. Some knives get all the way through in one cut. This one did actually surprisingly well. Over halfway through, almost probably around like 3/4 of the way through. So that was a little surprising. Pretty consistent too. Second time, same depth. Sweet. I think I'm going to get the rope. I was not prepared when I started filming today. Here we are, cutting the rope test. This is another one that knives usually don't get through on the first try. And you can see we were very, very close on the first try, man. We're gonna do it again on the same cut and we get through it. Let's try again. I think I can get through it in one try since we were so close. And yep, one try, man. That is crazy, dude. Man, that's impressive. That is really impressive, man. I just tested some 20 CV and did not do that well. Sharpening choil, pretty awful. It's actually a hollow grind, so that might have something to do with it. At least helps a little bit, I'm sure. I'm just gonna fire it into the wood here a little bit and see what happens. If you don't know, OTFs are designed to fall off their track when met with resistance. So they will not stab into your body if you held it up to somebody and slid the trigger forward. They just don't do that. You can see it was barely even getting into the wood. I'll hold up a piece of paper. It goes through it, but not very far at all. And your skin is way tougher than paper, so here it is up against the cardboard. Just barely poked through a tiny bit. So that's a myth that you can hold it up to somebody and it'll shoot into them. It doesn't happen. All right, now let's do a couple of little tougher tasks. Let's do some betoning. I was looking around for a log. I couldn't find a real log, so we got a 2x4 and another little piece of wood here. I'm going to use the handle of my chipping hammer, so it's hitting the blade with some wood. And again, Microtex, I've seen people do these with Microtex and they do just fine. So that's why I'm kind of doing it. I want to see how it compares to the Microtech. Probably the most popular maker of OTFs. Now let's try a fat 2x4. This is a pressure treated 2x4 too. But actually so far it's doing pretty well. I'm not even hitting it that hard. But then I noticed something bad. I noticed we started getting a little wiggly, little movement, the handle moving separately from the blade, and there you can see it. We have a failure. We have a major failure here. The switch has completely fallen off, and our blade is, it broke. It broke is the bottom line. So, not super surprising. I don't know, for some reason I kind of thought it would hold up, but I guess not. That was some, I guess, too much pressure where the blade meets the handle. Too much force in that area and just broke it, So, there you have it. You cannot baton anything significant, at least, with the Lightning OTF, which, I don't think anyone's really going to be doing anyways. But for light to medium use, I think this is actually a pretty good choice. If you don't mind the weird spring sound that you hear, it might just be mine too. But overall, pretty solid feel. It's full aluminum, so you get that kind of premium feel, at least with how it feels in your hand. And look at this edge, man. I haven't stropped it yet at all either. So whatever this blade steel is pretty impressive. Ergonomically, it's not that great. You feel that clip, you feel the switch as well. When I was cutting or pushing through the rope and the strap, I could definitely feel it. It was a hot spot. So yeah, man, if you're looking for a cheap OTF just to have for light or medium use, I think it's a pretty good option. The steel seems to be pretty decent for what it is. Impressive at how well it cut. And as long as you're not batoning or doing anything crazy, you shouldn't have any problems with it. Thanks for watching, dudes. That was fun. If you want to see more destructive testing, let me know. And maybe we'll get into some of that. As always, if you guys want to send in a knife to be tested, I will almost always be willing to do that. Unless it's something I don't have already tested or for whatever reason. But hit me up on Instagram if you want to send me something. Thanks, dudes. Please like the video before you bounce, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.